pizza on the street in New York, because you could buy pizza at any pizza place there.
Toronto didn't have pizza back then?
Not then, no.
Huh. And where'd you stay in Montreal?
Mm-hmm.
Where did
Oh, got my uncle and aunt.
Who's Envoy?
Uncle's uncle.
Where was he living?
He lived in, they had the bottom flat.
Mm-hmm. What part of Montreal, do you remember?
I'm trying to think of the name of the street.
Mm.
I can't think of it.
So how long did you drove? So you drove to New York.
We drove to Montreal. We stayed in Montreal at Uncle's Uncle's Kent Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
He lived at 3210 Kent Avenue. I'm pretty close.
Yeah.
And then we went from Montreal to New York and stayed with the Dubois. And that was fun.
So that was right after, so you got married on June 4th.
Yes.
How long, did you go right away on your honeymoon?
We went, yes.
Right away.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you think you were gone for, do you remember?
I had to go back to work, and your dad did too.
Mm-hmm.
Probably 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's reasonable. So had you ever met the Dubois before?
Mm-hmm.
Why, they came to Toronto, or how did you meet them?
We had met them. Well, they came to the wedding,
Oh, they did?
yes.
Okay. That was nice of them. Did any of the cousins, like Edwin and his brother, come?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. Were they invited?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just reminiscing how you and Dad had your first pizza experience in New York City on the street.
Right.
Toronto didn't have pizza back then.
No. I was so excited.
Yeah. So here we are. It's June 5th, 2021.
And we were married in 1950.
Yeah. Where did you get married?
At the Dovercourt Shul in Toronto.
Mm-hmm. Was it a nice affair?
Uh-huh.
Did you have live music, or how did that work?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who organized it all?
I did.
Yeah.
Paul Simmons was the orchestra leader.
Mm-hmm.
I had been dating his brother.
Hmm.
Trying to think how that worked out.
Well, obviously you got married to someone else, so it didn't.
What?
I say you got married to someone else, so it didn't work out all that well,
Yeah.
I guess.
But we used his orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't really care.
Uncle Zombo came to the wedding?
Mm-hmm. Gave us a lovely gift.
Yeah.
I think it was $500.
Mm-hmm. That's nice. So where'd you live as soon as after you got married?
We lived in my parents' third floor.
Yeah. Was that your old bedroom? Is that where you used to be?
No, nobody lived on the third floor.
Hmm.
So we got it. We moved in there. It was in the house on Manning, behind where Leonard's house was on Clinton.
Yeah.
814 Manning.
Mm-hmm.
And we lived there for over a year.
Wow.
Didn't pay any rent.
That was
That
nice.
was their gift to us.
That was very nice.
It certainly was.
Mm-hmm. So what, Dad was working, where was he at the Metro Theater or in his school still? Where was he doing?
You got me.
Yeah. He would have been around 22 years old.
Then he would have been working.
Mm-hmm. And you were working too?
Yes.
Where?
I was working for Jules Fine on Bayview Avenue.
Mm-hmm. You took the bus there?
I got a lift with Barney Shear, he worked for Dover, men's Dover clothes.
Mm-hmm. That was near the Jewels.
And it was right across the road from where Bayview Credit Jewelers was.
Mhm. That was convenient.
That was very convenient. And he gave me a lift to work and a lift home.
Nice.
Yeah, it worked out very well.
So is that, do you think that's why you like jewelry so much? Because you worked in the jewelry store?
Well, I like jewelry. Julie brought me up in jewelry.
Yeah.
It was fine.
So what kind of jewelry would you sell? What was your,
Anything I
whatever
sold.
he had?
Oh, everything. I sold watches, engagement rings. I managed the store.
Mm-hmm.
I was good.
That's good.
I was very good.
Were you on a commission or flat salary?
I was on a commission
Mm-hmm.
and I sold luggage, watches, and I sold on credit so
Right.
that I opened an account for people,
Mm-hmm.
which was good because then they would come in every week and pay their bill,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would sell them something else.
Well, it's pretty tricky.
Julie taught me that.
Yeah, it's clever. But they got the jewelry first and they paid it off, or they had to wait for their jewelry?
No. They got the jewelry as soon as they put it on a credit.
So what happens if they didn't pay?
They were good. We checked them.
Yeah. Anybody ever try to rob the store?
No, not while I was there.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That's good. Sounds like a nice start to a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you think you worked at the jewelry store?
Oh, quite a while.
You worked there before you were married as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So how did you know him, or how did you get the job?
With Jules Fine,
Yeah.
I started out on weekends. I was still at school. And I started out working weekends. I applied.
Yeah. How'd you even know about the job? Because Bayview was far. Bayview and where? Eglinton? Where was it?
No. It was Bayview and it was south of Eglinton.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you how I got the job.
Yeah.
Funny you should ask.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I worked as a waitress at Joe's and Moe's, which was a delicatessen, while I was going to school. And Jules Fine used to come in and get a coffee every day before opening the store. He owned this little store, a little jewelry store on Bayview, right next door to the theater. There was a Bayview theater.
Mm-hmm.
I got the job because he would come in for coffee at Joe's and Moe's. And he asked me one day if I'd like to work for him. I said, sure.
It was Joe's and Moe's.
It was on Eglinton.
You worked after school?
Mm-hmm. And I worked weekends.
So what was it like?
And Julie used to go into Joe's and Moe's for coffee.
Right. So what was it, like a Jewish delicatessen?
Yeah. And he asked me if I'd like to work for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what do you do?
So he trained you?
Yes. He trained me. And he trusted me so much that I became the manager of the store on Bayview. And I had keys to the store. That's when Barney used to give me a lift to work every day.
Did he have an alarm there too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And a safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have the combination to the safe?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He trusted me.
Yeah.
And I dressed the window.
Okay. That's good.
Mm-hmm. I did everything, Wayne.
It's good. A lot of people these days don't work hard.
That's true.
How's your pizza?
Good.
Yeah.
It's very good, sweetheart.
Okay. All right. We're gonna see Sage and Adam tomorrow, and Sage is expecting on around August 8th. It's now
Wow.
June 5th, so she's gonna be bigger than the last time we saw her.
Was she very big?
I think so. I think she's gonna go swimming tomorrow too.
Okay.
They said that the buoyancy of the water is good for her.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll swim too before you get your
Sure.
second vaccine. Okay, well, we're gonna sign off. Say goodbye to the camera.
I always worked.
Yeah. That's good.
I always had a job
Well, you also,
on top of my babysitting jobs.
right. No, and you also worked at the theater too, right?
That's right. I always worked. I always had enough money. When Leonard and I became engaged, we started to save our money together. We bought a car. We bought a house.
No, you guys did well. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this installment up. This is a continuation of the biography that we do of you. Last time was probably back in February, so we've had a bit of a lapse between the last videos. How are you feeling in general?
Now,
Yeah,
I feel good.
good.
I feel good. I feel safe. I feel like I'm making good decisions.
All right, so you're just saying that Julie had 3 stores, so he was doing quite well.
Oh, yes, he was. He was doing very well because he was young. He was only 27.
Wow. That's quite good.
Hmm.
Where did he learn about jewelry?
His family, he had two brothers in the business.
Mm-hmm. So he worked for his dad?
No, his dad was dead.
Mm-hmm. But that he probably learned from his dad. Did he?
I think he learned from his brothers.
Yeah. Older brothers or younger brothers?
Older.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
He taught me a lot about selling,
Yeah.
suggestive selling. Somebody would come in for a watch repair,
Mm-hmm.
and I would ask them if they ever thought of trading their watch in for a new one. And that happened successfully many times. It was called suggestive selling.
What were the most popular watches back then?
I think Bulova, and he sold Rolex watches. That was the first I'd ever heard of Rolex. I didn't know anything about them.
Where were his other two stores?
One was on Bayview, one was on Yonge Street North, 3360 Yonge Street. It was near the theater up on Yonge Street.
Oh, the Capitol Theater?
No, it was.
Or
It was-
401?
It was right where the theater.
The Willow Theater?
No, the Odeon Theater
Um,
on Yonge Street.
the Highland?
Even further north than that.
Fair Lawn?
Yes.
Near the Fair Lawn.
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes sense. So there was one on Young near the Fair Lawn. There was one on Bayview. Where was the third one?
Trying to think.
Down on Bloor, maybe?
One on Bayview, which was a small store. There was one on Yonge Street. I don't know where the third one was.
She only worked at the one on Bayview.
No, I worked on Yonge Street also.
Yeah.
He would move me around.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
It was good training.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, you take a high school girl and she's selling to mature people and opening credit accounts for them.
How would you check their credit?
When I open an account,
What, there was a credit bureau you dealt with? When you opened, who do you open the account with?
with the person that was buying,
But who do you have to call a credit agency?
no, I would run it by Julie.
He would make the decision.
Yeah.
So what would he do? How would he know that they're any
Then
good?
he may have checked.
He might have had a credit bureau he
Yeah.
checked with. I guess there were no credit cards back then. Everybody paid cash. Was there just cash in there or jewelry too?
Jewelry, we had to put it away every night.
I see. Did you have bars on the windows?
No,
No. And,
no. And we didn't get robbed.
that's good. So you were never afraid of being robbed?
I wasn't afraid of anything.